All right, let's just jump right in. If you're an investor, you know the feeling, right? You're staring at this massive market, thousands and thousands of companies, and you're asking yourself, how on earth do I find the real winners? It can feel totally overwhelming. Well, today, we're going to break down two powerful lenses that the pros use to find those hidden gems. So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you sift through this universe of stocks to find that handful of potential superstars? It turns out, when you really look at it, most expert strategies boil down to two very different but super complementary ways of looking at the world. And here they are. Think of it like this. You've got the jeweler and you've got the prospector. The jeweler is all about the company-first approach. They don't care what industry a company's in. They're meticulously examining each one, looking for a flawless gem, a perfect business model. Then you have the prospector. They take the industry-first approach. They're out there searching for a huge, rich vein of gold, a booming industry, and only then do they start looking for the biggest nuggets inside it. Two very different mindsets, but they're both hunting for treasure. So, first up, let's put on the jeweler's loop. We're going to dive deep into that best business first strategy. And to make this real, we'll use a framework from Morgan Stanley's own Best Business Models portfolio to see how it works in practice. So, what are we even looking for? What makes a best business? Well, it's a company that has what experts call a competitive moat. A real sustainable advantage that keeps the competition out. It could be an iconic brand, killer technology, or just being way more efficient than anyone else. These are the kinds of companies built to last, the ones that can not only survive, but actually thrive, no matter what the economy is doing. So, how does this play out in the real world? Let's take a company we all know, Apple. What makes it a best business through this particular lens? Here's the thing about Apple. It's not just about the iPhone. Their real moat, their true power, is the ecosystem. The hardware, the software, the services, it all just works together so seamlessly. And that creates this incredible loyalty. Their user retention rates are legendary. Once you're in the Apple world, it's just really, really hard to leave. And that gives them this massive, sticky base of over 1.3 billion people that competitors just can't seem to touch. But you might be thinking, okay, that's a tech thing. Well, not so fast. A best business doesn't have to be a tech giant. These same principles apply to a classic brand that's been around forever, Coca-Cola. Coke's moat isn't built on silicon chips. It's built on two other incredibly powerful things: its iconic brand and an absolutely unmatched global distribution system. That brand is recognized pretty much everywhere on the planet, and their network can get a bottle of Coke into your hands in the most remote corners of the world. That combination gives them amazing pricing power and makes for a remarkably durable business. So, the big question, does this jeweler's approach actually work? Well, the performance here is pretty telling. From 2018, this portfolio of high-quality companies returned 248%. For comparison, the broader market was up 90%. Now, of course, past performance is no guarantee of future results, but wow, that's a pretty powerful argument for focusing on quality. All right, jeweler's loop off, prospector's hat on, it's time to switch to our second lens. Instead of starting small with one company, we're starting big. We're looking for a massive, unstoppable industry trend. And right now, there is no better example of a hot industry than semiconductors. These tiny little chips are the brains behind absolutely everything. AI, data centers, electric cars, your smartphone, you name it. They are literally powering the future. And the sheer scale of the growth here is just staggering. It's almost hard to wrap your head around. The total market value of the U.S. semiconductor industry is projected to more than double in just 2 years. We're talking about going from $3.5 trillion to nearly $9 trillion. That is what a powerful industry tailwind looks like, a rising tide lifting all the boats in the harbor. And this isn't just market hype. It's backed by real hard numbers. The earnings in this industry have already been growing at an incredible 22% per year. And the forecast? Analysts think that's going to accelerate to 25% annually going forward. That signals some serious sustained momentum. Okay, so we've looked at the jeweler who's laser-focused on company quality and the prospector who's hunting for those big trends. So you've got to choose one, right? Nope, absolutely not. In fact, this is where the real magic happens. So let's just quickly put the official names on these. The jeweler's method, that's what we call the bottoms-up approach. You start with the tiny details of one company and work your way up. The prospector's method, that's the top-down approach. You start with a big picture, the whole economy or industry, and work your way down. They seem like opposites, but the best analysis uses both. Check out this analyst commentary on a semiconductor company. See what they're doing? They talk about a multi-year upcycle. That's the prospector talking, seeing that huge industry wave. But then they zoom right in on secular growth drivers and how this specific company is positioned to win. They're combining the big picture with the company's specific details. That's the key right there. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing to remember? It's not about being a jeweler or a prospector. The most powerful insights come when you learn to be both at the same time. So here's a simple 3-step framework you can use. First, be the jeweler. Analyze the company's moat. Ask yourself, is this a truly fantastic business? Second, be the prospector. Check the industry trend. Ask, is the wind at this company's back, or is it fighting an uphill battle? And step 3, find the intersection. Because the sweet spot, the really compelling opportunities, are almost always found where a great business meets a great trend. So the next time you look at a potential investment, ask yourself, am I looking at a flawless gem? Am I looking at a rich vein of gold? Or have I found that rare, incredible spot where I get both at the same time? Using these two lenses together won't just help you find great stocks, it'll fundamentally change the way you see the entire market.